Hello, and welcome to Data to Go, a video series created by NTT Data's Data and Intelligence team, where we'll be sharing insights in the world of data strategy, data modernization, business analytics, and intelligent automation. Join us over a cup of coffee as we explore the exciting world of data. So, today as a guest, we have Darren Edney. Darren, can you fill us in a little bit about your experience?
Sure. Hi, Darren Edney. I am in the data world. I have been working with data for about 30 years now. I spent close to 15 years at Bank of America, and I have, in addition, had some exposure, probably quite a bit more exposure to industrial as well as marketing, as well as financial. So long and storied history in data.
Awesome. So today's topic, we're going to be covering staying up to speed in data. We're going to be digging into a few topics within data, specifically data competency, data literacy, and how data analytics can be used to assist in your own personal life. So let me go ahead and pass it off to Jacob to start talking about data competency.
Thank you, Malini. And Darren, thank you for joining us today. So starting off with data competency, this is a characteristic that involves knowledge in various different data topics, ranging from AI to algorithms, programming systems, machine learning, query languages, and any other kind of data technology out there. So having data competency is having the knowledge and skills needed to effectively work with data. But this is a skill, so like any other skill, it's not something that you're born with. So it takes time to grow, develop, and learn data competency as a whole. So let's look at an example of a data scientist and they're working with data and their data competency in a professional environment. So a data scientist is looking for solutions to issues that their business is facing, and they've got to use any sort of collected information that they have. Their objective is to contribute to the company's goals using programming languages, statistics, and other data scientist skills. In order to be data competent, though, they must already have knowledge in mathematics, programming, maybe AI, as all of these different skills are tied to data science, statistics, and then the big data platforms that they might be working with. In addition to any of those technical skills and knowledge base that they already have, an underappreciated attribute of being a good data scientist with good data competency is their ability to communicate. So this will allow them to understand the data that they're working with and be able to also present that information clearly with all of their results and their analysis to their team. So Darren, I'd like to turn it over to you. If you are somebody who's fresh in their career, maybe a student, and you're learning data competency, for the first time, what would you do if you had to start over?
Very good question. So I'll take this back to when I probably my first position right out of college. And when I first became data aware, I became aware that other groups, other individuals in this company for my role were providing information to me. Information, data, and I was being asked to perform a role with that data. So to better serve that role, I decided it was something that I should do is to start from the beginning. The data that's being given to me, where did it come from? What is it? What was that other group doing to it, if anything? How was it provided? Was it a source system? Was it being gathered from flat files off Excel spreadsheets? I gathered all of that information and then understood my role as the filter a little better. And then, to turn that around a little bit, I had to provide that information to another group. So what was that group doing with it? What was, as it went further down the line, what was happening to it? Where was it going? What additional information may be added to it? And that's how I kind of became data competent, to understand what was being given to me, what I was being asked for, and potentially even how to do it better. So that seemed to serve well, and I'm still doing it today.
So that makes a lot of sense, Darren. So now that we know a few different ways, as you described, to become data competent, let's go ahead and explore why it's necessary and essential for the future of data. So the evolution of technology and the Internet of Things has allowed organizations to collect and store a vast quantity of data, which in turn leads to the need for data scientists to extract and analyze information to assist companies. So developing fields such as cloud computing, big data, and machine learning require skilled data users. It's definitely worth it to learn these data skills for the future of these technologies.
So moving on to our next topic, we're going to talk about data literacy. This is certainly a hot buzzword in organizations nowadays, but it makes sense given the adoption of big data and the push to become more data literate, ultimately makes sense. So, what is it? Data literacy is the ability to, read and write in the so-called language of data. So what does this mean exactly? Well, it's kind of dependent on the role that you're in and what your respective end goal is. So for professionals like us, the three of us, being data literate helps us advance our careers by being able to make decisions that are driven by data. Data fluency gives professionals the ability to assess each situation individually by better understanding them, and being able to communicate these skills with our colleagues enables us to connect better through the use of the data. For somebody who's in an educational setting, so a student maybe, their goal is to learn how to record, interpret, and communicate with others. So data can be used in that regard, when they move on to their career, but it's also something that they can use in their everyday life as well. So learning how to be able to interact with data in every aspect of their lives is very useful and can be very healthy as well. For somebody who's also in an educational setting, but is the educator, not the student, becoming data literate helps them educate their students and helps them understand what their students are doing and what they're learning. Educators can use student data to understand their students' behaviors, understand their exam results better, and give them more context overall. So this will help this will help teachers support and enable their student success overall.
So being data literate has certainly helped me grow in my own career and ability to network with others interested in data. So Darren, how have you developed your data literacy and how has it impacted your career growth?
Again, good question. I would say for me, the experience of just being able to learn what is available has been huge in my expansion of data literacy. So one of the things that I would say, and I'll relate this to career first, is that once you're there, once you're with a client, once you've actually taken a role with the company, to take every opportunity to become a steward, if you will, of that data. And that doesn't mean just taking care of the data. It also means understanding everything that's there, everything that's available to you. In doing that, in my personal experience, one of the things that I was able to do with one of the larger financial companies I worked with, we needed to understand why certain parts of the U.S. were leaning more towards certain financial products that were available when all of those financial products were available in a suite throughout the U.S. So assembling that data, pulling that data together, checking seasonality, checking demographics in those certain regions of the U.S. where these other products were doing well and other products were not doing well. Understanding what the makeup of the individuals were, all of that is there, all of that's available. And so what I would say is becoming literate with that data to understand your demographics, to understand your groups, to understand your seasonality, makes you a better data person. It gives you that option to be the person to provide those analytics when other people are kind of stumbling and say, I'm not really sure why we sell more CDs in the South than we do in the North. By becoming data literate, you do have that. In a personal way, to your point, it's a way to manage your life a little better because, in a very practical example for me, I heat with gas and I cool with electricity. So knowing that during the summer, my electric bill is going to be X because of my usage of it, and my gas bill or heating is going to be more in the winter, very basic, but very simple. That again is data literacy, and it's it's one of those things that will allow you to budget better and by default invest better. So data and being literate with it drives every aspect of your life if you would just take the time to sit and listen. In fact, one of my favorite sayings is, data tells a story. Are you able to listen? Or do you know enough to listen?
So that's great to hear. So it seems like becoming more data literate has also helped you in many facets of your career, as well as like transferable skills to your daily life as well. So kind of pivoting a little bit away from career and business use cases, let's discuss how we can also improve our personal lives, as you mentioned, with data analytics. So whether your goal is to get more sleep or to improve your physical health, data analytics can certainly help you evaluate and improve your lifestyle. So let's say you made the goal to improve your physical health this year. As we know from SMART goals, the goal should be somewhat measurable. So how can we use data analytics to even measure our fitness improvement? So one popular way nowadays is to use a Fitbit or a watch that helps you track your steps, your heart rate, your sleep quality. This way you can see that you're getting closer to your goals over time as you make some lifestyle changes. Using data to track your health is a very effective way to stay on top of healthy habits. So Jacob, what are some other ways that you can use data analytics in your personal life?
So you had mentioned Fitbit. I'll start there. Fitness is a great opportunity to track using data analytics what's going on in your life and be healthier. I know for myself, I use an app that tracks all of my lifts. I like weightlifting, so I can keep track, day by day, set by set, rep by rep, how much weight I'm doing on various different lifts. You can see the trends, where I'm doing well, where I'm struggling, what you need to improve on. That's one aspect that I do. And I know another common way that people implement analytics into their personal lives is regarding their finances, whether this is using apps or having your own spreadsheets that track your own financial data. This can give you the opportunity to manage your spending better, find unhealthy habits, and overall manage your own personal finances in a net positive way. And then another one that I know a lot of people keep track of is their social media usage. So I know a lot of the social media apps have different analytics built in that allow you to see different screen times, what trends you're most likely to be looking at, what areas of interest you pursue, just in a social media aspect. Social media can definitely be harmful. So, understanding where you're at with analytics can be very beneficial as well. Darren, I know you had already alluded to some of the things you do in your own personal life, but how do you implement analytics in your daily life to improve your lifestyle?
Well, I can tell you this. I recently bought an Apple Watch Ultra, and the first couple of weeks, it was the most annoying thing I'd ever put on my wrist. It was awful. Time to stand, time to do this, time to go here. But as I got used to it, and let me go off on a little bit of a tangent here. I love to skateboard even now, and I still snowboard. So, getting older, I was a little bit out of shape there. I won't even get into that, but I bought the watch to help out with those things because I had read very good things about what happens. So, getting back to the data analytics, now that I have applied these benefits and I've started tracking my steps, I've started tracking my mileage on my bike, I've started tracking the distance that I actually skateboard day to day, that kind of thing. I have actually become a better skateboarder. I've actually gotten myself, and health-wise, some of the things that have changed, better heart rate, better breathing rate, all that kind of stuff. So it's all available, it's all right there, and it's one of those wonderful things where all the data is gathered for you. And with personal media, I'm, as you guys probably know, don't have a Facebook page. We'll probably never have one. So the screen time, not something I got to worry about. But implementing these additional tools and having this additional data in my life has made a huge difference. And I think for anyone who is looking to become data savvy, you can start in the very small places, and it ends up being a very big change.
So that is a great way to implement analytics, and it seems like it's working out well. I can definitely relate with getting very annoyed with the Apple Watch when you first buy it. But I'm glad that we could discuss some of the ways data can assist us outside of our career. As we mentioned before, becoming data incompetent and data literate can pay dividends in many areas of our life. And understanding how we use data can certainly help us improve both in and out of our careers.
Darren, thank you again for joining us. That does wrap up our episode for today. And to all of our viewers, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune back in for our upcoming episodes for more data insights sip by sip. Cheers.